What exactly is quantum healing? How could remote healing work? Where is the line between alternative wellness and conventional medicine?
We work in the quantum field. Yeah. I can take your voice print, your photo, your DNA, and whether I'm here with you or I'm back in the United States, I can take this DNA signature of yours, put it into our technology, and see everything about you.
What do you say to people who call it pseudoscience? What research or evidence do you rely on? I have to admit, I'm a bit skeptical. I'm a skeptical person. It's just my personality. I ask all the questions.
You should. Yeah. I welcome anybody who is skeptic because I think they're the most intelligent and they're not going at it blindly.
Welcome back to the Icon Edit. Some people believe the future of wellness will be shaped by better medicine, better technology, and more personalized data. Others believe the answers may also lie in something we cannot always see or touch: frequencies, energy, and the body's ability to heal itself. Before we begin this conversation, I just want a disclaimer. This is intended for informational and educational purposes. We are not medical professionals, and if anyone wants to consider a change to the medical care, they should definitely speak with a qualified healthcare professional. My guest today is Selene. She's the founder of Global Quantum Healing Sanctuary in California. Her work combines holistic wellness, bioscanning, frequency-based therapies, and she now has a vision of bringing this concept to the UAE. Today I want to understand what it really means and what exactly is quantum healing. How could remote healing work? Where is the line between alternative wellness and conventional medicine? And is the UAE ready for this new kind of wellness? Selene, welcome to the podcast. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Before we start and get into the whole topic of wellness, introduce yourself a little bit. Tell us, where do you come from? What's your main life mission?
Thank you. Actually, I was born in Kansas on a farm. And at 10 years old, I was very influenced by my aunt, her son was dying of a thyroid disease. She got frustrated with the medical community and decided to take things under her own hands, as us mothers and women have to do sometimes. And she used herbs and essential oils to essentially get her son better. Mm-hmm. And since then, my grandmother was dying of leukemia at age 74, and my aunt helped my grandmother live to the age 93. In addition, I witnessed many other miracles, all through natural ways. And it just was a refreshing idea that our bodies and brains have the ability to heal on their own when we can give it the right environment.
So was this what first drew you to holistic health and healing, that you had these experiences in your own family?
Yes, this was my first touch, and I fell in love immediately with that. I wanted to be a brain surgeon as a kid. Oh, wow. And I can't say I was the smartest kid in school, and I also was not one of those people who wanted to be in school for long. I was not really a college-going kind of kid. But I was very interested in health and wellness, and I just continued on with the path of learning about energy, how energy shapes our health, shapes our lives, shapes everything around us. Everything is energy. Yeah. And I really studied energy a lot to better understand how we can continue to be healthy, how we can continue to avoid disease and illness, and also how we can combat it in the future and living a longer life.
It's so interesting that you mentioned thyroid disease, because I also have a thyroid disease. I have Graves' disease.
I'm very familiar with that.
And I'm actually in remission now. Mm-hmm. So just recently, a month ago, I started to halve the dosage of my medication, and inshallah, soon I won't need it anymore.
Inshallah, yes.
But that's interesting. And I know that like these autoimmune diseases are really hard to maintain, or like keep in a place where you still feel good about yourself. I mean, my biggest problem is I have gained, I think, like 14 kilos or something like that since I have that. But yeah, it's fine. I'm good. Everything's going to be fine. What is the mission behind Global Quantum Healing Sanctuary, and where is it exactly located, and when did you come up with the concept?
So I want to first spread information, education. I want to educate people that we first, before medicine even came to be, before pharmaceuticals came into existence, especially in the United States, pharmaceutical industry makes money off of people being sick, right? So there's very much that motive behind things. But before there was the pharmaceutical industry, there was herbs and natural ways. In fact, back in the 1940s, there were people like Dr. Royal Rife, there were people like Nikola Tesla who understood that we are and everything is energy, and you can change energy to change the situation. So, for example, let's go back and just say about your thyroid. We can use, everything vibrates, everything is energy. And sometimes when we are dealing with things, today, autoimmune is basically about the environment. We're getting bombarded with the toxins in the air, through our water, through the food, the additives in the food, through the EMFs, all of the radiation. So once we understand this, then we can start to educate people about how to detox and protect ourselves from these things. Because after living for a while, it starts to accumulate, right? And then our immune systems can't handle this. And so it starts to shut our immune systems down. There used to be never an issue with autoimmune diseases. These are actually new, a new-ish.
I'm not sure, because I just feel that a lot of diseases were just not, the people were not able to discover them because there were not the appropriate tools to discover them, I feel. But I definitely believe in energy, because a lot of autoimmune diseases are also coming from stress. So I am for sure 100% sure that my disease came at the time where I moved to Dubai, and it was a very stressful time with moving countries, and my husband was already here. I was like alone with the kids. It was like crazy. So it's not a coincidence. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
So that's for sure like an energy thing in some way. And I mean, the energy that we have in ourselves is one part, and then the energy we are surrounded by.
Of course.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What about healing practices like Reiki? What do you think about them? Because they are also like alternative, I would say. Or is it only about herbs and taking stuff?
Yeah, no, I think we've moved way beyond, the standard. When I reference healing naturally and using holistic ways, I'm talking about really advanced technology where we're mirroring the brain back to itself so the brain can balance. And the brain is the master control center for all of our body's healing. So it controls how much hormones you get or the healing of your body. So what happens is when we can balance the brain, then we can balance the body. And with that too, the interesting phenomenon is that like yoga, these basic, new things that, grounding, these are all good things.
But yoga is not new. Maybe in the West.
Not, exactly. Yoga is not new. But when I reference what we do is we work in the quantum field. Yeah. I can take your voice print, your photo, your DNA, and whether I'm here with you or I'm back in the United States, I can take this DNA signature of yours, put it into our technology, and see everything about you, even see the thyroid, for example, the functionality. And then and DNA is a two-way antenna. We can read from DNA and we can send to DNA, which reaches you in the quantum field. And what happens is then you can be anywhere in the world receiving frequencies. And the way I try to explain that on a more simplified way is think of prayer, right? A lot of people, regardless of their nationality or even their religion, have heard of prayer or even understand prayer, right?
Yes.
It's, you don't have to have the person near you. You can visualize them in your mind or have a picture of them. And prayer even works even more so in groups, because guess what? Now you've amplified the energy. So you're using energy or intention and you're directing that energy towards that person, right?
Yeah.
So now we just have a way for technology to do that, right?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of using that as an example. So it's it's tangible. People can go to their doctor and see that their blood pressure is no longer an issue, to see that their heart has improved. We proved this during COVID, actually. We were offering our technology for free. People were desperate. They couldn't find their doctors. They couldn't get the help that they needed or the answers that they wanted. They were not able to reach their loved ones. People were desperate. And we were offering this for free, and we were getting people better all around the globe in 1 to 3 days.
I mean, when you say prayer, prayer has a lot to do with thoughts, right? And there is 100% a thing that people who, let's say, have illnesses like cancer, that when they put their mindset to, like, a positive mindset to fighting this disease and not like giving up and being miserable about it, that this is very powerful. Do you think that thoughts can make a person physically sick?
100%. Absolutely.
I mean, you see it with people that get like gut issues, right? When they are miserable and have not even depression, when they have negative thoughts, that they can get physically sick, 100%. Right?
Absolutely. I think we all have to, and this is part of the education I like to tell people, is what you think about, you bring about, your thoughts, your words, all of this is, energy. And the more negative energy you're bringing into your body, also negative emotions, suppressed emotions, these all can cause dis-ease and illnesses. Stress is the number one cause of disease and illness. And anything usually that is in the physical body starts from the emotional.
It's interesting that you said words, because I don't know, somewhere in the Arab world, I don't know which culture exactly, they say that if you sit somewhere with someone and you have a glass of water and you say something negative about someone else, that you should never drink this water afterwards, because it takes up this negative energy that you have just announced by saying something negative about someone else.
Absolutely. In fact, there's an institute in the United States called Heart Math Institute, and they've done all these studies. You can take a plant and speak nicely to the plant, and then take another plant and speak negatively to it, and you'll see which one grows better. You can do that with water, and they've frozen water where you say all the, I hate you and all the bad negative things, and then you take the water where you've said loving things to it, and you can freeze them, and the one that has the negative words and energy shows up these glass shards under a microscope, and then the ones that show up with the love looks like snowflakes. And imagine, we're mostly made up of water, right? So if we're talking negative to ourself, negative self-talk, imagine, the water. Look, we're water. If we're directing negative energy or having someone else direct negative energy to us, imagine the water within our own cells. So it's hugely impacted. Absolutely, it's proven.
And I read that you're doing bioscans. What exactly is this? I mean, I know DEXA scans. This is where you can like measure body fat and your I think even the bone structure and stuff like that. If you have osteoporosis and stuff like that, what is a bioscan?
Yeah. So it's kind of what I was mentioning earlier, where we take your DNA or your voice print or your photo, and we put it into our technology, and this scan scans your energy. But it's very, very accurate. It's actually,
But what does it tell me afterwards?
It can tell you everything from the state of all of your health down to your mitochondria at every cellular level. It can everything from your eyelashes to your hair follicles, your fingernails, your kidney, your colon. It can detect abnormal cell growth, i.e. cancers. It also, we can look at genes, chromosomes, the DNA. All of that is changeable through energy. So it is a very accurate picture to detect what's going on. And everybody gets a report from this scan. And then we typically devise a custom protocol for 30 days because 85% of people who are dealing with stuff, when they follow the protocol that we offer, they are able to overcome what they've been dealing with without medication, without surgeries, within 30 days typically.
But what can this scan not tell you? Is there something that it can't tell you?
That's a good question. We've been able to see a lot, honestly. I mean, we were able to see when someone came to us and they said their doctor told them they had stage 4 bladder cancer and she was only 30 years old and she was going to have her bladder removed. And our scan said, no, you have a cyst on your bladder. You don't have cancer.
Okay.
And so we were able to save this girl from losing her bladder because we just simply recommended she get a second opinion.
A second opinion is always good in medicine.
Absolutely.
I can 100% attest to that. That's very important to do, especially when it's something serious.
Yes.
Have you ever worked with someone that experienced no improvement?
There are people who can comply to our protocol, and then there's other people who can't.
Yeah.
So let's just use cancer, for example.
Yeah.
In a protocol with cancer, even though we might send them the frequencies their body needs, even though we've really looked at their environment, their energy, but if they continue to eat loads of sugar, drink alcohol, these are counterproductive and they're not going to see the results.
Yeah.
So we do need a level of, teamwork.
Commitment. Yeah. What do you say to people who call it pseudoscience?
Well, we work with pets, and pets don't have a placebo effect.
Okay.
And everything we've done is doctor verifiable. So
What kind of animals do you work with? Like just
all
cats
animals,
and dogs?
no,
or?
any animal. It can be the Arabian horses, falcons. It can be a turtle. Doesn't matter, seriously. And that's animals actually recover so fast. We have so many people who call and they're like, oh, we're going to put little Fluffy down because it's not eating or drinking anymore. And we run the frequency one night, just one time. And then that dog is, or cat or whatever, is eating, drinking, running around. And they're like, okay, I guess we're not, it's amazing how they recover so fast. And the reason why is because they don't hang on to what us humans hang on to. We hang on to energies of anger and all the stuff, the bad.
Yeah.
We and animals don't do that. That's why they
At
can
least
recover
not
and
that
heal
we
so
know.
fast. Right? They just seem to recover really quickly. It's really amazing.
My question is, what research or evidence do you rely on? So how does the research in this field work?
Well, I mean, we are non-medical. So when someone comes to us and they say, we've been diagnosed with stage 4 brain tumor, and that's their diagnosis. We don't diagnose, okay? We can confirm, we can detect, our systems can detect imbalances in the body, which can tell us and verify that, right? But then we can use frequency to combat the tumor in the brain without medication, without surgery. And then in 30 days, we can have them retested with their doctor and they have good news.
So would you say that people who come to you often are very desperate already, or at the stage where they just want to try everything because they don't trust the usual medical field? Or is it just complementary, or would you say it depends on the patient?
Yeah. We definitely get a lot of people where they've come to us and they've tried everything. Like we are the last stop on the bus. If I'd literally had people who had days to live and they've given up their car, their house or whatever, and they're still living today. So, but I will also say it's people who've also started to open up their mind and awareness to realize that medication is not a solution. It's a Band-Aid. It's temporary. And it also is very toxic to our bodies. So I think more and more people are opening up to outside methods of natural ways, especially for their family, for their children. Us as women, we are the forefront of, leading the way. And I really believe that more and more people are choosing a more natural way, getting away from medications and surgeries.
You say that you are not diagnosing people. Let's say if someone comes and says they have, as you said, a brain tumor or whatever, and stage 4, which is, I think, the highest stage, right? And they come to you and you want to help them. But you are not discouraging people from going the, I would
Western
say, classic route.
Not at all. We can walk with someone regardless of what they want. There are some people, they absolutely want nothing to do with doctors or medicine because of maybe a bad experience, okay? But whatever somebody wants, if they want to do chemo and radiation, and then we are supporting them and their immune system through frequencies and, supporting them through the ways that we can support them, then we can do that. We don't, it's their path. It's their journey. We're here to support them.
Yeah. That's a
we
good
don't judge
approach.
anybody.
How do you protect people from false hope? Because I'm sure you're not telling them you're going to be healed 100%, right? You're not saying that.
You know what? Here's another thing that we really like to be clear of. We don't cure anybody. We are simply supporting the right environment for your body and brain to heal. So if we are providing this new environment, your body will heal itself naturally. So everybody else's, your body is healing itself. It's not us healing your body. We all have the ability to heal. We just need the right opportunity and environment to do so.
Do you think that animals are, you said it already, that they are easier to work with?
100%.
Yeah?
Yes. And like I said, it's that attachment, that emotional side that animals, I do believe have emotions, of course, but they don't hang on to, you could, I hate to say it, you could kick your dog and then it's going to run back to you. It's all going to be happy. And, they don't hang on to things like
Cats
we do.
Actually, I believe.
They do have some revenge. And yes, they do have a little longer stand.
So you told me, please correct me if I'm wrong, that you want to do the same thing here in Dubai, right? This is the plan, right?
I am so excited you hear of Dubai wanting to be the best of the best, right?
Yeah.
And I, for years, have felt that, because of our vast research and bringing together the technologies that we have offered, bringing world-class wellness to Dubai is definitely what I want to be all about. I want to be Dubai to be the best of the best. I want everybody on this planet to come to Dubai because the best of the best is offered. Yeah. And I want to help shape that. And I feel that having come here, and I've just been here 1 month actually, I haven't seen anybody do the things that we do and offer what we offer. And I think there's a huge opportunity to educate people and get other clinics, doctors, and people on board to helping the community here in bigger and better ways. I'm very, very excited.
Do you already know what you need here? Because I don't know, I feel that when I look, let's say, when it comes to influencers that promote things on their Instagram or whatever, Dubai is extremely, extremely strict when it comes to medical stuff.
Right.
So do you know already what you need, which certificates, which permits or whatever you need? Or are you just in the research stage?
The good news is we're non-medical, okay? But I understand there is a line of what we can say and what we can't say, claims we don't want to make. We have lots and lots of testimonials on our website. People are always welcome to look at those. But I want to work with other clinics, other wellness centers, and let them, without having to have the staff, the personnel, the training, or the equipment, bringing these technologies to them and seeing if they would like to add value to their clientele. And it's a win-win in that way.
So are you planning to create a whole new institute or wellness center, or do you just want to support the ones that already exist?
I'm going to start as an entry point to see who wants to work with me, whether it's a hotel, it could be a hotel. Yeah. It could be a residence who wants to be able to prove that, by staying there, their lifelong has longevity by staying there because they get grounding by walking on the carpet. They have EMF protection through the sheets, these amazing things that can be offered. And working one-on-one with people, of course, we all know somebody who is struggling, who may want to look outside the box of the traditional medication and things like that. You want to give us a try. We work one-on-one with people. I'll start there, and, if there is already things that I'm seeing about Dubai, about opening up a world-class wellness center, I would want to be a part of it,
Yeah. I mean, Dubai is the perfect place for basically anything. Yeah. Did you look at the wellness market here? Did you do research? Would you say, is there anything missing here? Or do you think Dubai could become the global capital of future wellness? Or
that is what I hope for Dubai.
Okay.
I really, really honestly want Dubai to be that way. What attracted me to Dubai was I watched a documentary on flight to Mumbai about a year ago. And I remember seeing the documentary how Dubai wanted to be, on the cusp of the future, like the Jetsons, and we already provide some of the most phenomenal technologies. Not that they're new. These technologies have been in existence for, years and years and years. They've just been shunned, and put down. So what I'm excited to really give Dubai the opportunity to be the best and show the world that they're the best. And I want to be, helping in that effort.
Yeah, to shape it. Yeah. It's so funny that we talk about this because my guest before, she's from New York, and she said that Dubai is actually pretty much into wellness, Dubai people, because she's from New York, and she said in New York, people are only working and partying, and they are not, like, wellness is not a big thing there.
Right.
But in LA and California, where you're from, it's like a big thing, right? People, like, wellness, I guess, is a big topic.
It's interesting that you say that because, for example, I live in Calabasas, and
like Kim Kardashian,
right? And I would say having a wellness center there was actually quite challenging. People are very much into beauty, how they look. It's more of the med spas.
Oh, yeah.
And so, if I went to Sun Valley, Idaho, for example. If I was just there for 3 days, people would hear about me and line up around the block. They didn't care what I was offering, how much it cost. They just knew they wanted longevity. They wanted health.
Yeah, because longevity is such a big thing now.
It is.
And I'm surprised that this isn't the big thing, especially in LA and with all the rich and famous and beautiful people there. But it's up and coming, I feel, right?
Yes. People are starting to pay attention to it. It's more, okay, we may look good and we may have, we look 10 years younger, but are you actually elongating your life? And the quality of life is so important too as we age.
Do you know Brian Johnson? I'm sure you do, right? What do you think about him?
I think we share a lot of the same perspectives and visions. And I really praise people like this because, we all are coming together to offer things, and we're like a big puzzle coming together and creating a bigger narrative.
And he's a pioneer. I feel there always have to be people like this who test things out on themselves too, And now his girlfriend is doing the same for women's bodies, which is actually cool because we all know that women's bodies are not as well researched as men's bodies.
Right. That's absolutely true. We're more complicated.
Our whole endocrine system is much more complicated. What do men have? Like a gallbladder and testicles. That's it. Really, we women are more complicated. And that's probably
especially
also
as we age too, with our hormones and the things that we go through.
And stuff,
it's very challenging. And even just like you mentioned too earlier about the weight, I can't tell you how many women have come to a certain age in their life and they're like, what the heck? It doesn't matter if I starve myself for 2 weeks. I'm like, what is going on? And we have to make change. We have to understand that our bodies are changing and the things that used to work for us are no longer. And we need to give our bodies more calm versus more aggressive.
That's why we have to sleep more. Right. And sleep is also such an important part of life, which is so underrated when we are young because we feel like we are invincible, right?
Exactly.
And do you think that... nutrition, do you also work with nutritionists or dietitians? Is this also part of your concept?
Yes, it's huge. It's huge. We like to educate people to first, before they even buy, download a free app called Yuka and scan the code to see what additives are there because it will literally say to you, this additive causes cancer. This additive causes Alzheimer's. This one causes bone density. I feel that especially in America,
it's so liberal when it comes to all of these additives. Europe is so strict about it.
Yes.
Even like the colors for some foods are not allowed in Europe. That you can get. And even like Coke, like the simple Coca-Cola has totally different ingredients in Europe than it has in America.
Yes.
Corn syrup is not a thing in Europe.
I know, isn't it crazy? Well, like I said, it's a money-making business in
the
States.
It is. So,
unfortunately.
People always joke that Americans eat as if healthcare was free there. But it's unfortunately it's true.
It really is.
So do you think that it should be stricter there with the food
without a
regulation?
Doubt. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I feel that the UE is doing a pretty good job at that. They are also pretty strict. Now I don't know if you saw that they have introduced a tax on sugary drinks.
I love that you just said that because I think it should be more expensive to buy non-healthy food versus healthy food. Wouldn't that make more sense? that, organic food is less expensive than
junk food.
Junk food,
Yeah.
and put a heavy tax on that because we're really encouraging the wrong thing here.
Yeah,
right?
that's true. And in the end, it will cost us as society much more because the risks and the negative consequences are so much bigger from that
great
than
point.
the costs that would maybe support buying
Absolutely.
cheap organic
either
food.
you're going to pay now to have the organic food, pay a little more now, or you're going to be paying later in your health care later.
Yeah, absolutely.
So nutrition is huge. It's absolutely important.
What do you think is the biggest lie in the wellness industry?
The biggest lie.
I know this is a hard one.
No, this is good. I need to make sure I don't get in trouble for saying anything. Well, I think the biggest lie is that medication is helping you. There are medication that is necessary if someone has a severe infection and someone's in a lot of pain. And, it can be helpful temporarily, but it certainly should not be put in the hands to use permanently in your life. I see as we get older, people are taking so many different, like 10, 15 different types of medicines and supplements. And it's terrible. And what I like is we have the ability to actually measure these medications and supplements to see, is your body even absorbing them? What percentage is it weakening you or strengthening you? So then you can make a better educated decision. So, yeah.
And what do you hope that skeptical viewers who watch this episode can take away today?
Just that there's a lot that they don't know, but it's now that we have the internet and we have artificial intelligence, we can find out a lot more, right? We can start to educate ourselves and ask the right questions.
Yeah.
Don't believe anything I say. Do all the research. It's available because, yes, our bodies can heal from anything. I've witnessed it all. I'm serious. It's incredible.
That's a very positive attitude.
Yeah.
Because, I have to admit, I'm a bit skeptical. Maybe because
okay.
I'm a skeptical person. It's just my personality.
I love that.
I ask all the questions, no matter if it's you or any.
Right, you should. You should.
Yeah.
You should be the example.
Yeah.
And I welcome anybody who is skeptic because I think they're the most intelligent. And they're not going at it blindly. They want it. At least you're open to learning and hearing the information. And then after, what you do with it is your decision, and there's nothing to be judged about that.
Yeah. Have you ever doubted your own vision?
If I didn't see the miracles that happen on a daily basis, I wouldn't believe what we do. I just really wouldn't.
Okay.
I talk about it and I see it, and I literally say I'm so grateful for seeing on a daily basis someone who used to shake doesn't shake anymore. Someone who was, an alcoholic is no longer an alcoholic, just out of the natural healing. Someone who couldn't walk can now walk. Someone who could, just so many miracles. If I didn't see these things on a constant basis, I seriously wouldn't believe what do I do. And that's why I got to keep it going, because if there's a delay, then I'm like, did we just do that?
So you are basically also skeptical, like in general, because
I have
else
to
you
see
wouldn't
it.
go that route, right?
Right. And I have to do everything on myself first. I'm not going to, if I want to try something, I'm going to try whatever it is I'm constantly researching. I'm constantly looking out for the best light therapy, for the best frequency, for the best scan. And then I try it on myself. I try it on, and I really try to break it. Like, let's see if we can debunk this. Let's try to make it not work. And then it's just that I have to prove it to myself. Yes, you're right. I have to revalidate it all the time.
Light therapy, because you mentioned it, is something that is actually pretty well accepted, I feel. I don't know which light therapy you mean, but let's say infrared light. Everyone knows that it's like helping for muscle pain, and it's good for your skin even, and like skin aging. And then I know people who let's say, who are dark skinned, and they live in countries like Sweden where there is almost no sun. And they go to the, the sunbeds, on the sunbeds regularly, just to get some UV light for their
health.
For their health, So I think light therapy is something that is pretty well accepted.
Right. I agree.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. And then there's light therapy that, people don't know about. Like, for example, when you break a bone, there's some technologies of light that can actually heal the bone 600 times faster than the bone healing on its own.
600. I have to research this because this
I have all the videos.
Like incredible. Okay.
Seriously.
Oh my God.
No, there's light can do a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, again, what is light? It's frequency.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at people who live in countries that have a lot of sunlight, they also have. So I feel it on myself since I live in Dubai. I have almost never had a bad day because my mood is automatically better when the sun shines. I mean, it's crazy, but
There's
it's
a lot
the
of truth
truth.
to that.
Yeah,
100%.
And also, I talked to someone who told me that multiple sclerosis has a higher rate in the population in countries where there is less sunlight. So a lot like light things are for sure having an effect on different illnesses. Yeah. 100%.
Yep.
Is there any message you want to give people, to try it maybe or give it a chance, or I don't know,
I think that if somebody is open to, if they've tried things and they're frustrated, or maybe they're just open-minded to wanting to try, there's no harm in there's no bad negative side effect in trying something. So if somebody is not getting the results in their health that they want, and we can do a scan for them, I think that's a great step in the right direction. Why wouldn't you?
When you say there's no negative effect, then why not, right? Because you just came to Dubai, is there anything that you have observed here in Dubai that is maybe a little concerning for you, or where you feel people who live here for some time are not aware of it?
There's actually two things that come to mind. Number one, we absolutely love the beautiful scents, all the perfumes and the aromas that we get when we walk into a hotel or a residence or the dentist office. But a lot of those are not natural scents. And anything that is not natural is essentially we're breathing formaldehyde, we're breathing toxins. Yeah. And so it is detrimental to our health. It is impacting our health because these are being pumped through businesses, buildings, and it's actually very toxic.
And we spend a lot of time indoors, 100%, right?
100%. Yeah. And this is very concerning, number one, because if it's not natural and it smells good, I'm even talking about a nicely scented candle. If it's not natural, it's actually toxic to us. Yeah. And we have to think about that. I love a good smelling place as much as the other person. So that is a big challenge here. The second one is Dubai is extremely beautiful, and it has a lot of great technology and a lot of advancement. But with that comes a lot of EMFs. And the EMFs is the electromagnetic, frequency that is detrimental to our cells.
Okay.
So it is very important for people to get outdoors into grounding, protection where they sleep, having measures and ways to protect themselves from it, because those are two things that I think that people don't realize how badly it's affecting their health. I
don't know anything about that, but I just know I don't have a TV in my bedroom.
Good.
Because
that's a great first step. And don't sleep next to your phone at night, put it on, turn it off, or put it even on airplane mode. But I totally recommend that in your bedroom should be a place
without technology.
Yes,
maybe.
Yes, it's got to be the place where your body can restore and renew. Absolutely, our skin is our biggest organ.
It absorbs the toxins.
Yes, our skin is our biggest organ, and yes, you're absolutely right. People spray mostly on their neck.
Yeah,
right, exactly. And just like the phones, where do men store their phones? In their back pocket. Yeah. Why do they have prostate cancer more than ever? Why do women have breast cancer more than ever? Because they store their phone in their purse underneath their arms.
Also, I think the aluminum deodorants are also terrible.
Yes, change to a salt stick. They work amazing.
Yeah, I mean, there are aluminum-free
deodorants
alternatives everywhere now, so that's not an excuse. Yeah, I think that's it. Selene, thank you so much for being here. It was very insightful for someone who has literally no experience in this field whatsoever. And as I said, I'm a very skeptical person, but I love to do my research and I love talking to you. I love your view, also your very positive attitude and approach towards these things. And I feel everyone should just check it out and see if they like it or if it's something additional for whatever problems they have. And thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay.
That was great.
Yeah,
Yay,
I loved
I just
it.
have to thank you so much. It was
No,
really
thank
wonderful.
you. It was nice. Yeah, and I mean, it's great because we did it very like Dubai focused also.
Yeah,
which
no,
is
I
good.
love that
Yeah,
too. Yes,
yeah.
I really was enjoying, really, because I care so. I want to bring. I
It's
really
so funny
do have a
that
passion
you
for
are
Dubai.
here just for such a short time and you're already